we are live. Yes, we are live at the moment. And what we're going to do in this one is talk about the wins list here. So the wins list is actually something I use every day. It's very near and dear to my heart. It always helps me with programming and things like that. So let's get stuck straight into it. So the core idea is that we want to track our progress, not think about perfection. We want to get away from that, and we realize that our brain forgets the wins and it remembers your failures, right? So we have to sort of make an intervention there and be like, okay, we forget the wins, so we're just going to write the wins down in a book, and that's it. That's really easy. That's the core idea of the wins list. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next slide. So the memory problem. After a week, you remember all the bugs, you remember all the mistakes and all the struggles. But you do forget all the problems you've solved, all the code you shipped, all the skills you learned. We have this thing as humans that we sort of weight loss heavier. And we just forget the wins, and we sort of weight these losses heavier because we are trying to avoid dying in the future. That's an evolutionary thing. So we're like, okay, don't do this, don't do that. And then, but we always feel bad. But sometimes, because, everything is not trying to kill us right here, we don't get, satisfaction. We just sort of keep alive, and we need to record our wins so we have enough dopamine and momentum to do things. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So the key takeaway here, what you're going to learn in this presentation, is essentially that humans underestimate micro progress and how to win. What we want to build a winning identity. That's essentially what we're trying to do here. And to do that, we have to record our wins in a win list. So that is essentially the takeaway there. Now, micro progress is invisible. So for example, here you see in the slides some micro progress things. Day 1, I learned async. Day 2, I built a small API, all that stuff. But when you're in the thick of it, when things are hard and it's just hard to see the end goal, it's actually gonna be invisible, and your losses are just gonna, like, all the things you did wrong, just gonna look incredibly big. So what we need is we need a view of all the wins we had. So what you do throughout the week is you just write down what you've won at, and then by the end of the week you'll have sort of this list of wins, right? You'll have a tally, and you'll be able to step back and be like, oh, actually I did do a lot, so it's actually not that bad. It's okay. It's really fine. Okay, let's move on. So the identity loop. This is the loop we want to create. I win, therefore it becomes my identity, and then it's my habit. So I fixed the bug, win, right? You write that down in your wins book. I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much for that. So I fixed the bug, I win. Someone then you associate that win with an identity. For example, you say, I'm someone who knows how to fix bugs well. And then that will lead to the habit of, I tackle bugs daily. And where that all started was with the wins book. You essentially saw that you were fixing bugs, and then you're like, okay, actually I am a person who fixes bugs. This is my identity. And then it becomes a habit. Hey, I fix bugs. So you become a winner, essentially. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So what counts as a win? Any small thing. So it could be you solved a bug, you learned a new concept, you wrote a function in your code or something like that, passed a code review, passed the tests, even process wins. So there could be like physical wins you talk about, right? Physical results. That's awesome. But also process focus wins are important. We just want to keep stacking the wins. So you focus for 90 minutes, you completed daily stand-up, you asked an intelligent question because you had the courage to put your hand up and ask an intelligent question there. Okay, so those are all good. Now, why daily stuff matters, right? It's because we want to take advantage of the compounding effect. So when you have things compounding on a flywheel, motivation, that the consistency, that is that's the strong mover. That's the strong mover. So if you just see, oh, I won on Tuesday, I won on Monday, I won on Thursday, and you just sort of separate them, slice them up, it's not as strong as, oh, I look back over the week and I have accumulatively like made 270 wins in the week. Well, that is way stronger than just having isolated wins. If everything compounds together, it's very, very strong. Okay. What I'm going to do now is open up the time for any questions. Does anyone have any questions, or would you like to share any of the wins you got today? I would love to hear some of them. I'm happy to read some of them out. Let me know. I'll give it 10 seconds. Does anyone have any cool wins they would love to share here at all? Okay, I give it 5, 4, 3. Any wins for anyone before I move on to the next slide? 2, 1. Okay, so it's all good. Let's move on. Okay, so the wins list format. So what I do is I have a book. I just have a book from Officeworks or wherever you get books from. And then every day I just essentially, like Wednesday, right? I write Wednesday, and then underneath Wednesday, I just write down, as the day goes by, I keep it close and I write down everything I do. And then I actually assign a score to these. So I write down whatever the win is, and then I assign a score. So I like to play with numbers. So I assign a score, and then at the end of the day, I tally the score and put that in a column. And so, for example, on Wednesday, I got a score of 5. And then what I do after that is I tally up the whole week's day scores, and then I provide a week score, and then I keep that in some sort of buffer where I track over weeks and months, right? How many wins I get per month, or how many wins I get per week. So that's how I do it. So what I do is I just write down whatever wins, I assign a score to it. So for example, doing the dishes could be a win score of 1, maybe completing a long 1 hour live stream could be a win of 2. Maybe I finished a big project, that could be a win of 3, right? So you assign some score, then you tally the scores, and you're all good. So 5 minutes to document, right? 5 minutes to document would equal a lifetime of confidence, right? So that is because sometimes you don't want to set things up, and you just sort of, it doesn't even have to be 5 minutes, literally 5 seconds, write the win down, and you get a record of confidence. Okay, so before I move on, Running Rooney just said, just pulled up, what's going on here? Let me tell you what's going on here. So this is a course about the mindset and coding. So I teach coders how to code, but also a very important aspect of that is getting the mindset correct. And this is actually part of the mindset course. Here you see, in Coder Trader, this is my school community, and what I'm doing is I'm developing a mindset course here, right here, and you see all these modules are sort of understanding how to just get your mindset right, you know, sort of how to focus, how to time box, deep work, dopamine discipline, all that. And here we're on the wins list. So that's what we're doing at the moment. I am just recording that. If you're interested, join the school community. It's actually free to join. There's a free tier. Hit me up and let me know. I can, because you're a member of the YouTube, let me know. And let me see what I can set you up with. So appreciate the question. Yeah, so, I'm happy you like it. Yeah, so I will put the link to things here. This is the about page. I'm just going to put that there for you. Do join up. It is free. And then, yeah, just hit me up. Hit me up. I'll get you in. Let me know. Okay, cool. Enjoy that. And let's get back to the slides. Now, just before I keep going, is there any questions anyone has at the moment about anything at all? I'll give it 5, 4, 3, 2. Any questions? 1. Okay, let's move on to the next slides. So here's an example of the wins list. So you can just write the date, and you put win 1, win 2, and then you just write that. But what I do here, right? So is I put little scores, little numbers beside that, and then I'm tallying up the wins. So I actually have a number value on whatever wins I do. Okay, cool. So stack the wins. right? Until you believe. So, because week 1 you'd be like, oh, I just got lucky, and then maybe week 2 you'll be like, oh, I'm improving, so you just want to see all those wins, and then all that imposter syndrome just goes out the door when you have concrete evidence of all your wins happening. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so to cure imposter syndrome, it's just the win list. It's nothing crazy. So for example, as I said in the previous slide, you just have to make a win list and you get concrete evidence of all the things you have won. Next, let's go on. So bad days need the win list the most. Sometimes you just feel unmotivated to get out of bed, or maybe you feel like you're actually not making progress and you're just working and you're not seeing tangible results less. And that is sometimes because of it's literally just because it's a hard task and you have to be like delayed gratification and you don't get the wins quite yet. So get the win list going, and then when you have those bad days, just look back over the wins list, and you'll sort of you'll get that. So next, I have a ritual. So review what wins list, what you got on your wins list, and then tally whatever score, or count them or whatever, and then sort of notice patterns. Maybe where you get distracted, things that happen. See what you're good at winning at, and then optimize for things like that. So it's here. This is a very important point. I'm going to highlight this here, actually. The trend is way better than a single day. I appreciate the likes. Thanks, Charlie. Thank you for that. I really thank you for supporting everything there. So the trend of winning is way better than looking back at a single day. So the trend of, yes, I'm making wins. I've been making wins for this whole month, is much more valuable than a single day of, yes, I did good. It's because there's just objectively more wins in your trend, right? Okay, so let's, does anyone, actually, I'm just gonna, question time. Would anyone in the chat or on the stream be comfortable sharing a win they had today? I'll give it a little bit of time. Maybe I'll give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Any wins? 4, 3. Any wins at all? Anyone? Happy to share them with everyone. 2, 1. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Okay, so share your wins. This week I did that. And then also sort of, document first and share. So I think you can either, weekly stand-up fix. So you can have the option of sharing it. If you don't, like, it's not, I would say sometimes the best thing is just looking at the wins list. But if you feel confident enough, you can actually share things if you want. Thank you, Charlie, for the likes again. But document first, then share. If you feel like confident enough, you have a good trend and a good compounding effect, then you can go ahead and share stuff. Anyway, let's move on. So the anchor, I love the anchors. Anchors are very important. Stay high. Exactly. I'm not sure what G and G, gangster. Yeah. Thank you. I'm a bit old, am I? I don't know what G and G stands for. So anchors are very important. So anchors are little phrases you can remember that will help you sort of go through life with these lessons I teach you, right? And so the anchor for this lesson is going to be stack the wins until you believe. Stack the wins until you believe. Where you from? No, I'm not. But I appreciate the comments. Anyway, so stack the wins until you believe. Right? Stack the wins until you believe. That's the anchor here. So just repeat that to yourself. Stack the wins until you believe. Now, so what is that going to look like realistically? Essentially, one win will equal luck. And then you're stacking wins, you get 10 wins, that looks like a pattern. And then after that, say you get 100 wins, right? You get 100 wins. That becomes an identity level thing. That becomes identity, right? That's identity. That's really powerful. So stack the wins until you believe, or even stack the wins until it's your identity. That's very powerful. Okay, cool. I'm gonna move on to the next slide here. So compounding effect. So 107, I just picked a random number, right? Documented wins. Get that under your, so for 90 days, what I want you to do, this is the exercise, right? This is the exercise. So have a wins book, find a book, find a book. Start writing down your wins. And then once you hit the 170 mark, right? You will have undeniable evidence. Just go back and look at all your wins and think about the amazing things you've accomplished. And then sort of see if you've transformed as well. So what I suggest you do is in your wins book at the start, write down how you feel, write down if you think you're winning or losing, right? And then go through this process of obtaining wins and then do the exercise again and be like, okay, I have done all these wins. Has my identity changed? Have I got evidence? And do I feel much better about the situation? I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. And so have I become someone different? Okay. Let us move on to the next slide here. Okay. So common mistakes. Are you ready for some of the common mistakes? What are you talking about? I'm talking about making a wins list. I'm making a wins list and I'm talking about stacking them until you see patterns and your identity changes. That is what I am talking about, but I appreciate the question. Thank you. Okay, so common mistakes. Nothing worth recording today. That is, you always win at something. There's always something. Even if you have those days where you just stay in bed and you're just feeling like super depressed, at least maybe you ate something, right? Maybe you ate something. That counts as a win. That totally counts as a win. You just got to find something. I appreciate the likes, Charlie. Thank you so much. You just got to find something. So only track big wins? No, you want to track every single win. Charlie, thank you again for the likes. So you want to track every single win, not just the big wins. And forgetting to write daily. Yep, make sure you do it daily. Make sure you're consistent. And then being too critical of yourself. So we don't want to be critical at all about anything. We just want to track everything, put everything down as a win. So everything counts. Small wins matter. Daily habit of putting this in your wins book, and be generous with yourself. Even if it's nothing, even if it's like not too crazy, make sure you track your wins. Like even getting up in the morning, sometimes you're in the shit and you're not having a good day at all. Even getting up counts as a win. Put that as a win. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to read this comment. Why don't you want to be critical? We don't want to be critical at all about anything. We just want to track everything to feel good. Yeah. So, yes, yeah, because you want to just see the compounding effects. What I do, right? I get it. So maybe not all wins are equal. I put scores beside my wins. So big wins, I assign 3 or 4. Impossible tasks, I assign a 5. And then little wins, right? So maybe I have a cold shower in the morning, or maybe I just do a few push-ups to get my blood throwing through the body or something like that. Count those as wins with a score equal to 1. Thank you so much. Oh, good. Yes. Appreciate the likes again. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, cool. We're coming to the end of this presentation. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it for sticking through till the end. It means that you are just focused and you want to win. So starting today, create a wins list. Get a book from somewhere and find the wins list, right? Record 3 wins tonight. Or do 3 wins, record something, put it in your book, and then continue this over the 30 days or the 90 days, right? The other challenge was get the 270 going. So do that. And then see who you become. Okay, let's move on to the second last slide. So takeaways. Your brain lies about your progress. Your wins list tells the truth, right? So what do I mean by a lie? As it will lie about all the wins and then overweight the losses, and so you'll just see loss. Appreciate the likes again. Thank you so much. Buzzcut. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, good. Cool. Anyway, and then trust the data. So trust your wins book. That is the truth there. Okay, last slide. So final thoughts. Thank you for sticking around this long. I really appreciate it. So every expert was once a beginner, right? and who documented their wins, right? So when you're not an expert or professional, you really don't have anything to go off other than just time. So what you need to do to maintain momentum and keep going forward is that you need to maintain this wins list. You need to be able to go back in time, objectively look at your wins, and become that's how they become the person they wanted to become. So start your wins list today. Cool. I think that is the end of the slides, all 21 slides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the presentation there on YouTube. So before I do, are there any questions anyone would like to ask? YouTube, TikTok, let me know. I'll open it up. And while I'm doing that, send them through. I'm going to do a little bit of advertising here. So what essentially this is Coder Trader. We'll teach you how to code, but also this is part of a community where I focus on coding, technical skills, all that stuff. But I really believe half of it is mindset, getting the mindset right. Therefore, I'm making this mindset course. Yeah. Yeah, and so what we're doing is, let me see where it is. Yep. Is we're making the wins list. And that is part of it. So if you really like this presentation, go check it out. It's free to join. How to make a game. Yes, we can totally teach you how to do that as well. So go check it out if you really like this. If you're sort of technical and you like coding, math, whatever, go check it out. It is free to join. So link in my bio, and send me a DM. Send me a DM. Tell me you're from the presentation, and I can hook you up with some cool stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it here on YouTube.